back when I was in high school, I was part of this like superintendent's advisory thing within my school district, and she and I got along really well, and she decided to add me onto this. It was called the All Means All it's either Minority or Diversity Task Force. It was a state of Kentucky thing, and so I gave a little speech at one of these All Means All things, and strangely to me, I thought I was just saying normal stuff, and these people were so like, oh, well, you speak so well, and you're so articulate, and all these things. And, my superintendent, who was white, and I'm like, oh, this, like, apparently I did a really good job. And she said, yeah, but these are kind of backhanded compliments. And what they're basically telling you is that, they don't really see African-American people as speaking intelligently and articulately. Keep those kind of things in mind, because we're trying to change this narrative, that they could see a young black man come up here and speak and not think, wow, I didn't even expect that from you. And that's that, kind of underlying, I think non-overt biases that people have that keep a lot of people down.
In this industry, a lot of folks who look like me are cooks, or they're cleaning, housemaids, or they're serving food, or cleaning gum off of the sidewalks, right? Or getting luggage out of cars. And for a long time, even historically, if you look at it, this industry has been limited to people of color as it relates to C-suite executives, et cetera, even back of the house professionals, marketing, CFOs, sales folks, et cetera, right? I had to prove myself and to others that I deserved to be there. So it was a lot of tests that I had to undertake. But the culture as a whole, I would say, was, why is he here and why does he have a tie on and not a broom in his hand? No one said that, but you can tell the feeling of it was hey, what are you doing here, right?
Recently in an appraisal that I gotten, I saw the word aggressive. And aggressive to a black woman is just something you do not say. When you call a black woman aggressive, it just does something to us. It sends chills through our body. There's a visceral reaction that's generally going to happen. And when I took the time to walk her through it and try to unpack what aggressive meant to her and make her understand that it's not aggressive, it's assertive, it's speaking your mind, it's being opinionated, it's not being a doormat, it's not being walked over. If I am screaming and yelling at the top of my lungs, banging on a table and acting crazy and neurotic, that's aggressive. Me sitting in a calm tone, sitting at a table, talking to you, having a conversation, and because we don't agree, does not make me aggressive. So we need to make sure we're using the right definition, especially when you're talking to a black female. And she went back and she changed it.
I was doing a residency in obstetrics and gynecology. And of all the major programs, that was the last specialty where they wanted to admit more black men. It really came down back to racism. They did not want black men examining white women. So you sort of get a little bit of that. But again, my attitude was always, I'm going to rise above that. I'm going to demonstrate to people that I'm there because I care about them and there to try to make them feel better, less in the suffering. In those 4 years, I only had a couple incidents where someone said, I don't want a black doctor coming in my room, or black intern or black medical student, whatever the case was be. And I think of those few times, there was one woman who was at the VA with terminal breast cancer, and they kind of honored her wishes, which I was against. I said, no, let me show this woman, even though she doesn't want me, I'm going to rise above that and take good care of her.
Oh, this is a good story. Here you go. So when I was in Turkey, there was a younger soldier there, and we always teased him because he looked like another soldier. So we would call them by each other's names. And so I'm like, oh, how are you doing, such and such? And he's like, I'm fine, Toby. I was like, I'm sorry. And he's like, and I looked at him crazy, and he's like, you know I didn't mean anything by it. You could just see his face go red. And he's like, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just joking with you like that. And for anybody who doesn't know, like, Toby is the name given to Kunta Kinte in Roots, as essentially, the slave name given to him. And so he thought it was a joke to just say this to me. And I basically just let him know, hey, listen, when I called you the name that I called you, so we were both joking. So our intent was both to joke. But when I called you the name that I called you, it was about something specifically that I see in you in relation to another specific person. When you called me the name that you called me, it wasn't because I look similar to Kunta Kinte or Toby. It's because I'm black, and that's the similarity that you saw. And so when you say that to me, it tells me that despite all of the other qualities about me, that's what you saw as most glaring. And if that's the case, you have a problem somewhere, because I'm much more than that.